Yo, what's up? Back with another video. We're looking at Dan Corder, who has called Willem Petzer a con. Let's watch this quick one together.
First on news worth knowing, South Africa has fallen in love with cons. Big celebrations of whole communities that share a love for one specific thing. Most famously, we have Comic-Con, with everyone dressing up in their favorite comic book superhero outfits. And this weekend, a brand new con arrived in South Africa. People in Pretoria, make some noise for the all-new Apartheid-Con! I can't believe I made you clap for that. Yes, 1,500 people dressed up in apartheid cosplay descended on the American embassy on Saturday morning. Some of these superfans even slept on the pavement overnight, guys, to be in the front like a music concert for somebody racist. It's giving Steve Hofmeyr. And before you get touched, before you scream at the TV, Dan, you stupid soti, this was just a demonstration about the Expropriation Act, there was a very popular sign at the front that said, "Make South Africa great again." People, when was the last time these people thought South Africa was great? Because I suspect it wasn't that cute Mandela window in the 90s. And then there was another sign very popular that said, "Recognize the white nation," which was literally apartheid's tagline. It was their brand. And you know who else's whole brand that line is? The KaKaK in America and the Confederates in the American South. We all know the influence that American politics has on these people. So let's be...
Speaking about American politics, I just want to mention, I don't know the man, I don't know what's happening, but he looks really nice. That's what caught my attention about him. He looks like Father Christmas. His name is Colonel Chris Wyatt. Here's some visuals of him. I'm seeing people in my comments telling me that he's saying things. He's saying, fuck around and find out. There's people busy typing Fafo or Fafo in my comments. They're kind of alluding to this man. I think he's somebody stepping up, a radical figure. I don't know, perhaps the Confederates that Dan Corder is talking about. You know, the warrior people. He looks like he's some kind of warrior. That's the brand. He's decorated, you know, military man. We don't know. Maybe Dan Corder is talking about that.
Real about what we were looking at. We were looking at white supremacist ideology wrapped up in a twisted interpretation of Christianity. That's what it was, just like the KKK. But this little stunt also needs context, because you may have seen it all over the news this weekend, but best estimates guess that there were only 1,500 people at Apartheid-Con, which is tiny. Guys, I'm in WhatsApp groups with more members than that. This little khaki flash mob does not represent the views and feelings of most Afrikaners. This was genuinely just a bunch of khaki-wearing Confederates. So, for convenience, I'm not going to say Afrikaners about this group anymore. We need to be specific about this group of people we're talking about.
Do you know Confederates? Do you know the Confederate flag? Do you know those type of people? One day we'll talk about them.
So let's give them their own name. In fact, you know what? I'll be nice. Let's even make it Afrikaans. What do we know about them? They're a bunch of khaki-wearing Confederates, which in Afrikaans is a klomp khaki confederasie. KaKaKa. You know, that kind of fits. I look forward to your angry letters.
He's calling this South African movement the KKK. The KKK has arrived, y'all.
Afrikaners are going through a lot right now. Ironically, Trump's offer to resettle the refugees has caused painful divisions among Afrikaner communities. Many prominent Afrikaners, including top commercial farmers, have said that they aren't leaving and nobody they know is. Many people at this KaKaKa rally said that too, weirdly enough. One person at the rally said that they won't leave South Africa, they just thought it was important to show up. Did you have nothing? Was there no rugby on Saturday morning? Many KaKaKa ralliers actually said that AfriForum didn't speak for them, even though it was AfriForum's lobbying that contributed to Trump's offer. AfriForum rejected the resettlement offer, so they aren't good enough for the KaKaKa. And then there are many decent, rational Afrikaners who live in this cute little thing called the world, who have hated the last few weeks, hated how Afrikaners have been misrepresented by just a few Afrikaners, and hated how they themselves have been silenced by by the extremists. The famed Afrikaans journalist Max du Preez wrote a phenomenal piece of journalism last week. A brave
We should look at that Max du Preez video in the next video.
Piece about how Afrikaners are once again the skunks of Africa, in his words. About how 30 years of
Afrikaners are the skunks of Africa? Dan Cotter, what are you saying, man? What are you and Max du Preez speaking over there, man?
careful, earnest work to rebuild relationships between Afrikaners and black South Africans has been so damaged by this crisis. He wrote correctly that Afrikaners are entitled to promote and preserve their language, but Afrikaners are not victims. Along with other white South Africans, Afrikaners remain privileged and vastly overrepresented in professional and economic spheres. In fact, to use his exact words, Max du Preez also wrote, quote, "If you are an Afrikaner reading here, please speak up and let your fellow countrymen and women know in every conceivable way that not everyone is like Flip and Carly and Ernst and Dirk and Yaku." And he is right. Even though it is certainly hard to do right now, and many Afrikaners who agree with him are now feeling awfully silenced and erased. But they need to speak up, because if they don't, all we have, South Africa and the rest of the world, to speak on behalf of Afrikaners is AfriForum, Solidarity, and this KaKaKa, claiming to represent millions and millions of people and leading the rest of South Africa to feel enraged by them. If there aren't any other voices speaking up,
leading South Africans to feel enraged. There's a group of outrage manufacturers. There's a psychological operation going on. There are people who wake up and put the coal and the wood in the racism stove so that it can keep bellowing smoke. You know, there can be a raging fire in the furnace on a consistent basis so that the kids, black or white, who are supposed to find unity in a country that is leveling out inequalities and giving proper opportunities together. You know, there's no just taking a white kid from the suburbs and a black kid and telling them to stand together and talk. No, making people come together in a nation is having them enjoy the benefits of the country that they live in and be educated at high levels, because education is hella cheap right now, man. It's a shock that we still don't have it. That's what would bring us together. But instead of us coming together, there is people who are making sure to get in between us and push that way and push that way.
then those are the voices. So please, moderate, reasonable, South Africa dwelling, real world occupying Afrikaners, use your voices, because your community is going through a crisis internally right now and externally. Does that make sense?
Yes. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe, like the video, comment. I'll respond 5 the time. I'll see you next time.